good morning. In the last session, we discussed about colligative property and already discussed the definition for this colligative property. It is applicable for dilute solution and which depends upon number of particles. Such a property is called colligative properties. And there are four well-known colligative properties such as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Second one is elevation in boiling point. Third one, depression in freezing point. Fourth one is osmotic pressure. Out of the four colligative properties, we already discussed the first three, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation boiling point as well as depression freezing point. And these colligative properties are used for the determination of molecular mass of solutes. Okay. And the third one is about osmotic pressure. You know, osmosis. In lower class, I studied about osmosis, that is when we take sugar solution in a Tesla funnel and when it is immersed or dipped in water taken in a beaker. Here sugar solution. Suppose this represents the initial level of sugar solution in the Tesla funnel. And after some time, you can say that water passes through this membrane. It is a specially designed membrane that is called a semi-permeable membrane which allows the passage of only solvent particle. Usually egg membrane acts as the semi-permeable membrane. By the flow of water from the beaker to the Tesla funnel, what happens? This level of sugar in the Tesla funnel rises. And this spontaneous flow of solvent from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. You remember one thing, osmosis is not a colligative property. Then we discuss about the osmotic pressure. Suppose if we apply an external pressure through the solution side, what happens? This pure solvent from the solution passes through the semi-permeable membrane into the beaker. Clear? During osmosis, water from the beaker moved to the Tesla funnel through the semi-permeable membrane. That process is called osmosis. And as a result of this osmosis, the level of sugar solution in the Tesla funnel increases or rises. If we apply an external pressure to the solution side, the sugar level reaches in the initial state. And that minimum external pressure that must be applied to the solution side to prevent osmosis is called osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is the minimum external pressure that must be applied to the solution side to prevent osmosis. That is called osmotic pressure. One of the methods for calculating this osmotic pressure is Bernoulli-Hartley method, that is not included in our syllabus. And osmotic pressure is usually denoted by the symbol pi. Okay, you just think about what happens if a pressure greater than osmotic pressure is applied to the solution side. You got the definition for osmotic pressure? It is the minimum external pressure minimum external pressure that must be applied to the solution side to prevent osmosis. That is called osmotic pressure. If we apply a pressure greater than osmotic pressure, what happens? You just think about it. What happens if pressure greater than osmotic pressure is applied? You know, in the Thistle funnel, it is sugar solution, sugar plus water. And if a pressure greater than osmotic pressure is applied, pure solvent, that is water, from the Thistle funnel move to the beaker. Okay, that process is called reverse osmosis. That process is called reverse osmosis. You know, in Gulf countries, there are plenty of seawater, but they are most of them are suffering from the scarcity of pure drinking water. Lot of seawater is there, but lack of drinking water. Here, this method is adopted there, that is desalination process. The schematic representation, that is, it is a piston. Here we take sea water, and when high pressure is applied to the sea water side, it is separated by a semi-permeable membrane. Pure water from the sea water skews or pass through the semi-permeable membrane. As a result, we get pure water. That is called a desalination process. Desalination or purification of seawater. Seawater is purified by this process. Suppose question asks like this, they just give the schematic representation, and question asks like this, name the process indicated by the above diagram, just explain it and mention any of its application. That is, the process adopted here is called reverse osmosis, and the reverse osmosis is the purification of seawater. That is why it is called a desalination process. And the commonly used the semi-permeable membrane in reverse osmosis is cellulose acetate or cupric ferrocyanide. Cellulose acetate is mainly used. Sometimes this cupric ferrocyanide is also used as a semi-permeable membrane in desalination process. Next is this osmotic pressure. Don't confuse with the symbol pi that is mainly used in mathematics, that is 3.14 or 22/7, that is here this osmotic pressure is denoted by the symbol pi. Then the osmotic pressure pi is proportional to concentration as well as temperature. Pi equal to RCT or pi equal to CRT. Here R is the proportionality constant similar to that of universal gas constant. It is called a solution constant. R is called a solution constant, and the value of R equal to 0.0821 liter atmosphere per Kelvin per mole or 0.083 bar per Kelvin per mole. Depending upon the value of this osmotic pressure either expressed in liter atmosphere or in bar. And what do you mean by concentration? Concentration means it is the number of moles of solute dissolves in a particular volume. Pi equal to N by V into RT. Instead of C number of moles dissolves in a given volume is called concentration. Pi equal to N by V into RT or pi V equal to nRT. Similar to this, we have studied in states of matter. PV equal to nRT. PV equal to nRT is ideal gas equation. Here it is called a Van Hoff equation. Van Hoff's equation. As the former case, then we deduce the expression for the molecular mass of solute. Normally, it depends upon solute, that is why we put it as NB. And determination of molecular mass of solute. How the molecular mass of solute is determined by using this osmotic pressure. So, pi V equal to nRT or NB means WB divided by MB into RT, or therefore MB equal to WB RT divided by pi into V. This is the expression for finding molecular mass of solute. Here also you can see that the molecular mass and colligative properties are inversely proportional. Okay. This is the expression for finding the molecular mass of solute by using this osmotic pressure method. You know, as in the former case, we mainly use, that is, delta TB equal to KB into M or delta TF equal to KF into M. In the former case, that depends upon molality, but since osmotic pressure depends on volume, it is a factor of this molarity. Therefore, this osmotic pressure method is used for the determination of molecular mass of macromolecules such as proteins, polymers, etc. Usually a question asked like this, that is, which colligative property, in multiple choice manner like this, name the colligative properties used for the determination of molecular mass of macromolecules. That is osmotic pressure method. Additional question, why? Why osmotic pressure method is used for the determination of molecular mass of protein or a polymer or generally macromolecule? Then the answer is, that is, osmotic pressure is used for the determination of molecular mass of macromolecules because it depends upon molarity, that is volume, and measures at room temperature. It depends upon molarity, means volume, and measures at room temperature. Therefore, osmotic pressure method is preferred over other colligative properties for the determination of the molecular mass. That is about the 4 colligative properties. Next, if two solutions have same osmotic pressure, If two solutions have same osmotic pressure, they belong to the class of isotonic. Isotonic solution. Isotonic means two solutions having same osmotic pressure. For such a solution, we can represent a relation W1 by M1 equal to W2 by M2, where W1 is the given mass, M1 is the corresponding molecular mass of that component. Similarly, W2 and M2. Suppose 5% glucose, 5% glucose, C6H12O6 is glucose. 5% glucose is isotonic with 3% of other solution, say X. Then find the molecular mass of X. For that you can use this relation 5 by, we calculating 6 into 12 plus 1 into 12 plus 6 into 16, it is 180 equal to 3 divided by say M. We cross multiply, you get the value of M, that is the molecular mass of this unknown substance, provided both are isotonic. And you can see during intravenous injection, the medicine is mixed with, during intravenous injection, medicine is mixed with 0.91% saline or sodium chloride solution. During intravenous injection, medicine is mixed with 0.91 or 0.16 molar NaCl solution, saline. Why? Because 0.91% or 0.9% saline sodium chloride is isotonic with RBC of human blood. It has the same osmotic pressure as that of the red blood corpuscles of human blood. Therefore, during intravenous injection, medicine is mixed with this 0.91% or 0.16 molar saline solution. And out of the two solutions, one having lower osmotic pressure is termed as hypotonic solution, and the other having higher osmotic pressure is hypertonic. And you can realize this example by removing the outer shell of 2 egg. Take 2 egg and remove its outermost, that calcium carbonate shell, and you get a nice membrane, egg membrane is there. Take such an egg and put one in normal water, other in saline water. Then you just observe after half an hour you just observe the present condition of the 2 egg. That is, those egg put in water swells, and that put in saline water become shrink. That is generally called exosmosis, endosmosis. In biology you studied in detail. Simply hypertonic and hypotonic solutions. And isotonic. Isotonic means if two solutions have same osmotic pressure, they are called isotonic solutions. And already told that colligative property is used for the determination of molecular mass of solute. In certain cases, it is found that molecular mass calculated on the basis of colligative properties are different from actual molecular mass. That is, actual molecular mass is different from this calculated molecular mass. Not in all cases, but in very rare cases. Any departure from this normal behavior, that is, we generally termed as abnormality. Similarly, here we use that term called abnormal molecular mass. abnormal molecular mass. Abnormal molecular mass means the molecular mass calculated on the basis of colligative properties are different from actual molecular mass. Definitely there must be some reason for exhibiting this abnormality. How this abnormality arises? And abnormal molecular mass is mainly due to two reasons. One is association, and the second one is dissociation. Association and dissociation. Association. How does it leads to this abnormal molecular mass? Association. During association, more than one molecule associate to give the effect of a single molecule. This colligative, as the colligative property depends upon the number of particles, definitely there must be some variation in the number of particles, therefore it affects the molecular mass also. And one of the example is studied with ethanoic acid, CH3COOH. CH3COOH. A solution of ethanoic acid, acetic acid in benzene. Acetic acid in benzene shows a molecular mass of 118. Is it the actual molecular mass of ethanoic acid? What is the formula? CH3COOH. That is, there are two, 12 plus 3 plus 12 plus 32 plus 1, that is 60. Actual molecular mass is 60, but in benzene, ethanoic acid shows a molecular mass of 118. That is why it is called abnormal molecular mass. And that abnormality associate or related through this association. Two molecules of ethanoic acid undergo dimerization through the formation of this intermolecular hydrogen bond. By using this hydrogen bond, actually there are two molecules of ethanoic acid, but in benzene it gives the effect of only a single molecule. Therefore, the colligative property, as the number of particles decreases, colligative property also decreases, and which in turn leads to this abnormal molecular mass. That is why this association leads to an abnormality in molecular mass. The same way, dissociation. Dissociation, what happens? Just reverse of this association. Here, a single molecule gives more than one ions in solution. A single molecule gives more than one ions. Instead of this, if we take aluminum sulfate, Al2SO4 thrice, it gives the effect of 2Al3 plus 3SO4, 2 minus. It gives 5 ions. Sodium chloride gives 2 ions. Barium chloride gives 3 ions, Ba2 plus 2Cl minus, etc. That is, here a single molecule gives more than one ions in solution. As the number of ions increases, this colligative property also increases, and finally that leads to abnormal molecular mass. That is, I think you are clear with this point. Colligative property is used for the determination of molecular mass of this solute. In certain cases, the calculated molecular mass is different from actual molecular mass. The reason is either association or dissociation. During association, the number of effective particle decreases, this colligative property also decreases. And during dissociation, a single molecule gives more than one ions in solution. As the number of ions increases, this colligative property also increases. That is why the reason for exhibiting this abnormal molecular mass. Then, in order to express this extent of abnormality, Van Hoff introduced a factor I, which is called Van Hoff's factor. Van Hoff introduced a factor I called the Van Hoff factor. That is, Van Hoff factor, it is defined as the ratio between observed colligative property divided by theoretical colligative property, or it is also equal to normal molecular mass divided by observed molecular mass. Normal molecular mass divided by observed molecular mass. The former relation, observed colligative property, is in the denominator, while in the second expression, observed molecular mass is in the denominator side. That is why I already told you that this colligative property and molecular mass are inversely proportional. That is how this Van Hoff factor is introduced means Van Hoff factor is introduced, that is, in some cases there may be some distraction or deviation from the actual molecular mass. It is called abnormal molecular mass. That abnormality arises either due to dissociation or association. And in order to express the extent of abnormality, Van Hoff introduced a factor I, which is called Van Hoff factor. It is observed colligative property divided by theoretical colligative property, or normal molecular mass divided by observed molecular mass. For association, I value is less than 1, and for dissociation, I value is greater than 1. Then I equal to 1 means what? Neither association nor dissociation. Suppose sucrose, glucose, urea, all these units are exist as the same. They does not undergo dissociation or association. For such a species, I value equal to 1. By predicting the nature of I, that is Van Hoff factor, we can predict whether a electrolyte or a species, whether it is undergo association, dissociation, or neither association or dissociation, by simply taking the I value. Okay. Then modified expression for substance that undergo association or dissociation. Modified expression, that is, we have already expressed as P0A minus PA divided by P0A equal to WBMA divided by WAMB, or from that MB equal to P0A WBMA divided by WA into P0A minus PA. And by incorporating this Van Hoff factor, we just modify this expression MB equal to I into P0A into WBMA divided by WA into P0A minus PA. Okay. Similarly, delta TB equal to I into KB into M, delta TF equal to I into KF into M, phi V equal to I into NBRT, or MB equal to I into WBRT divided by pi V. All these are modified expression for substance that undergo association or dissociation. And we can find out the degree of dissociation by using an expression. Degree of dissociation alpha equal to I minus 1 divided by n minus 1. I is the Van Hoff factor. For strong electrolyte, if it is completely dissociated, the I value equal to number of ions produced by that complete dissociation. For example, if sodium chloride is completely dissociated, Na plus plus Cl minus, I value is found to be 2. Then barium chloride BaCl2, Ba2 plus plus 2 Cl minus, I value equal to 3. Okay, N is the number of ions produced. And based on this colligative properties, suppose question asked like this: seawater boils at a higher temperature. Seawater boils at a higher temperature than distilled water, but freezes at lower temperature than distilled water. Seawater freezes at a temperature higher than distilled water, but freezes at a temperature lower than distilled water. And on the basis of this question, if a student thoroughly know about this colligative property, especially elevation, boiling point and depression, freezing point, they are able to answer this question. The main point you have to remember in colligative property is when a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, vapor pressure of the solution decreases. As vapor pressure decreases, boiling point increases, freezing point decreases. They are further termed as elevation, boiling point as well as depression in freezing point. You know, distilled water is pure form of water. It does not contain any contamination or impurity. Seawater contains lot of variety of dissolved salt. Mainly you know that seawater contains sodium chloride. When a non-volatile solute is added, the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. As vapor pressure decreases, what happens? Boiling point increases. That is why seawater boils at a temperature higher than this distilled water, but freezes at a temperature, that is non-volatile solute is added, freezing point of the solution decreases. That is, that freezes at a temperature lower than distilled water. That is the both elevation, boiling point as well as depression, freezing point can be recognized or understood by the same question. That is, seawater boils at a temperature higher than distilled water but freezes at a temperature lower than distilled water. And sodium chloride or freezing mixture is normally used to clear snow from the road. Or I already told you that ethylene glycol is added in the radiator of a car driving at hill stations. The main reason is that depression, freezing point. Normal non-volatile solute is added, that freezing point decreases. And next we go through the numerical type questions based on this colligative property that we will discuss in the next session. That is about this 4 colligative property, namely relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation by boiling point, depression, freezing point as well as osmotic pressure. All of you thoroughly know this concept and how we can substitute the different data. We can easily find out the molecular mass or the mass of solute, etc. Okay. If you have any doubt while solving this problem, you can ask to me. That we will discuss in the next session. Okay. Thank you.